Chapter 7. The Ultimate Fix. Hoover, the Commission, and the Cover-Up. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, was the Iron Grip's ultimate expression of the eliminate and silence mandate. Having successfully navigated the treacherous politics of the Kennedy crusade, the network needed to ensure the structural integrity of its triumph. This was accomplished by the figure who had served as the mob's most powerful, if unwilling, protector for decades, J. Edgar Hoover, the ultimate fixer. Hoover's immediate intervention, the Lone Gunman Doctrine. The moment the bullets stopped, the obfuscate and obstruct phase of the operation began, orchestrated by Hoover. The FBI director moved with unprecedented speed to control the narrative. Before any substantive investigation had begun, Hoover publicly declared the official finding: Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin. This singular statement immediately directed all subsequent investigations and efforts toward proving a predetermined conclusion rather than investigating a conspiracy. This fixation on Oswald served to shield the true architects of the crime, a scenario facilitated by the mob's textbook operational execution in Dallas. The initial apprehension. Oswald was apprehended leaving the Texas School Book Depository just moments after the assassination, but he was not detained, a missed opportunity that further complicates the timeline. The silencing. When Oswald was finally arrested, he was silenced forever, shot and killed by Jack Ruby, Jacob Rubenstein, a nightclub owner with documented connections to the Chicago and Tampa crime families, Sam Giancana and Santo Trafficante Jr. Ruby's immediate and successful execution of Oswald adhered perfectly to the Iron Grip's playbook, ensuring the trail of evidence ended abruptly with a dead suspect. The warped inquiry. The Warren Commission. The ensuing investigation, the Warren Commission, was structurally compromised from its inception. The commission was headed by Chief Justice Earl Warren, who, along with its other members, had a clear conflict of interest: the need to maintain political stability and avoid revealing a domestic conspiracy that might push the U.S. into war with the Soviet Union or Cuba. The report intended to put public doubts to rest. Only deepened them by relying on forensic conclusions that defied logic, serving to obstruct the truth. The magic bullet. The finding that a single, nearly pristine bullet, Commission Exhibit 399, caused 7 separate wounds in both President Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally was a cornerstone of the lone gunman theory. The absurdity of this trajectory was noted by those closest to the event. Governor Connally and President Lyndon B. Johnson both later stated that they did not believe the Warren Commission's findings regarding the bullet. The bullet was found laying on a gurney at Parkland Hospital. The conflicting medical evidence. The official autopsy conducted at Bethesda Naval Hospital was characterized by complete control and profound limitations, with key evidence suppressed or mishandled. Conflicting reports from doctors at Parkland Memorial Hospital, where Kennedy was first treated, regarding the nature of his head wounds were ignored in favor of the official, politically sanitized autopsy. The smoking gun and the limo driver. The structural and legal manipulations detailed above were underpinned by 2 critical and now indisputable pieces of evidence, one medical, one operational, that shatter the Lone Gunman Doctrine and expose the scope of the cover-up. The Parkland Doctors Report. Immediately following the assassination, the civilian doctors at Parkland Memorial Hospital, the first medical professionals to examine President Kennedy, documented entrance wounds on the front of his body. This initial on-the-spot clinical assessment directly and profoundly contradicts the subsequent official finding of the Warren Commission, which insisted that all shots originated from the rear, specifically the Texas School Book Depository. This conflict in medical testimony was the first and most critical red flag, establishing that the official narrative was built upon the denial of primary professional observation. Number 2, the limo driver's failure to flee. Crucially, analysis of the Zapruder film reveals a deeply suspicious operational failure that gifted the assassins the time they needed. After the apparent first shot, the president's limousine driver, Secret Service agent William Greer, is seen turning around and inexplicably slowing the vehicle to a near stop. This act was a violation of fundamental protective protocol. By stopping and pausing the car in the line of fire, Greer granted the assassins the necessary window for the fatal follow-up shots. Only after the president's head was struck, causing the explosive head wound, did the vehicle finally accelerate and flee. The failure to immediately accelerate and escape after the first shot was fired suggests, at minimum, a catastrophic breakdown of procedure, or at worst, an intentional allowance of the subsequent shots. I'd like to also point out that this limousine was a convertible, and they had a bulletproof cover for it that they removed before this parade. Number 3, the autopsy photos, the ultimate lockbox. The suppression of the initial medical and operational truths is most vividly confirmed by the federal government's handling of the forensic evidence. The continued, decades-long withholding of the official autopsy photographs under the pretext of national security is the smoking gun evidence of a conspiracy. These photos represent the physical truth of the wounds. Their ongoing suppression, which has been justified not by privacy, but by the state's continued insistence that releasing them would harm national security, confirms that the official evidence directly contradicts the lone gunman theory and would expose the true mechanics and direction of the fatal shots. The suppression of these images is the final, undeniable proof that the systemic compromise of 1963 was intended to be permanent.